And in the final days of her campaign, Vice President Harris remains laser focused on the key issue of abortion rights. Listen.
Now, 1 in 3 women in America lives in a state with a Trump abortion ban. Many with no exceptions for rape or incest. You know what? Let me say something about this. We're here because we're fighting for a democracy.
CBS News correspondent Lilia Luciano is joining us now from Las Vegas to talk about this. So, Lilia, the abolishment of Roe versus Wade by way of the Trump administration has been something that the vice president has been focused on over the course of her campaign as she pushes for abortion protections. Clearly, the former president, his language has been to suggest that this is what America wanted, when in fact polling, including CBS News polling, shows that is not what most Americans, the majority of Americans, wanted to see, the overturning of Roe versus Wade. So how is she driving that message home?
Oh, we heard a lot about abortion, about women's rights, about women's agency over their bodies, women's health care during the rally last night, Vlad. She also encouraged voters who were attending the rally to vote yes on this question in the Nevada ballot, which asks to protect abortion rights here in the state as part of the Constitution up until viability of the fetus. There was a lot of talk about women's rights. I heard from women, Latina women, American white women, we heard from black women, all kind of really stressing the importance of protecting abortion rights within the state and as part of what's driving them to vote. There was also a great deal of attention paid to the Latino community. They're 20% of the electorate here, 30% of the population in the state of Nevada, which is constantly changing. And we have seen that Democrats, that lead that they had over the last several presidential elections has been shrinking. So both candidates were here in the state. They were not far from each other in Nevada. And talking about women's issues, yesterday Trump used the term, the father of IVF once again in his rallies. But what I heard from women, especially in this rally, young women, older women, was that precisely that issue is what's driving their vote. The other thing that Kamala Harris talked about a great deal was about Gen Z. She applauded first-time voters. She thanked them for being there. I heard from young men and young women there. And what the young men talked to me about, and I asked them because, we've seen a lot of young, and these were young Latinos who were there at the venue, at the rally. We've seen that they have been supporting Trump at increasing rates. What a few of them told me is that they're voting based on Trump's character, that they don't feel that they're identified with it, and that certainly those comments from last weekend's rally did have an impact on how they feel about former President Trump, about the campaign. And last night, I know that you know a lot about Latin music. Maná was there playing. They played some of their greatest hits. This is the biggest surviving, I would say, rock en español band, just because, of course, there are others, but they're no longer playing or their members have passed on. So they were playing. A lot of people were, chanting and saying, we love to see Maná represented, to see and hear Vice President Harris connect with Latinos. And of course, we had J-Lo, the superstar of that rally, too, also speaking en español in terms of getting that support for them.
Yeah, so Mana's a big deal. I wonder also, Democrats typically have, because of just the nature of the party, big-time movie stars, celebrities, and pop stars supporting Kamala Harris. The question, of course, is does J-Lo bring them out in the same way that Mana brings them out, in the same way that Bad Bunny expressing his support with his 20 million-plus followers across social media? Do you think that J-Lo's message resonates with voters?
Yesterday, J-Lo presented herself as you would expect, with all of this energy. She talked about how she's played in Vegas many times. I think there's this message, especially with the Puerto Rican celebrities. J-Lo, Mark Anthony last night had a concert in Fort Worth, and he also had a very specific message to Latinos about voting and about pride of being Latino in this country. I think that there has been kind of this centering of these Latino celebrities voices to come out, and the announcement of J-Lo and Maná came out later. Yesterday, Kamala Harris was with Los Tigres del Norte, who are the biggest, most legendary traditional Mexican music in Arizona. So, what I'm hearing from people yesterday, yes, I came to see Kamala Harris, not Mana, but it's good to see that our voices are being heard, that we're being considered, that our cultural symbols are centered. So it's certainly something that I think here in places where, in states like this one, where the Latino vote is so crucial and where the election is so close, people are, I guess, in the campaigns hoping to hear that have an impact.
And Lilia, you no doubt saw that report from Caitlin Huey-Burns that suggested that she talked to one voter who was going to vote for Donald Trump until those racist remarks at that New York City Madison Square Garden rally, and that person said, I'm no longer voting for Donald Trump, I'm voting for Kamala Harris. So it definitely has had an impact. Lilia Luciano for us. You have heard that as well. Yeah, that's what voters are telling you as well.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Lilia, always great to talk to you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.